Hi there everyone, welcome, thanks for joining me. My question for today, do you sometimes feel that you're pushing yourself all the time? That you feel you've never got any time for yourself? You're always running around like a chicken with its head cut off? At the end of the day you feel very tired, you feel very worn out, and you never feel as though you're doing things that you really want to do. Yeah? Can you relate to that in your life? If so, then you're not nurturing yourself. And nurturing yourself is a very important aspect of self-love. And that is the topic for today. So in this particular video, which is the 7th in the series on self-love, I'm going to focus on the importance of nurturing yourself to your life, to your lifestyle, to your vitality, to your dreams. And at the end of the video, I'll give you some hints of how you can nurture yourself. So, my name is Paul Staton. I'm the founder of the Lighthouse of the Soul. Now, my business is about shining light on people's journeys so they can really see where they are in their life and see where they're going, so they can create a life of joy and a life of significance and contribution to the world. So, on nurturing. So let's start off by define nurturing. What does nurturing actually mean? Of course, when we talk about nurturing, we quite often can relate to a baby, like we nurture a little baby and really care for it and look after it. And so nurturing is really about looking after, caring for, and supporting. So the opposite to nurturing is to deprive or to neglect. Now, the problem I've found working with clients in 50 countries as a healing coach is that many people do not nurture themselves. They deprive themselves. And let me give you some examples of the common ways people deprive themselves. One of the main ways is their body. As a soul, we come into the body and we utilise the body to manifest on the earth through the body's tools. And quite often the body is called the temple of the soul. It's like the house of the soul. It's like your spacesuit while you're on earth. And therefore it's important to look after your body, to care for it. And the question is, are you caring for your body? And that means, are you giving it good food? Are you giving it plenty of relaxation? A lot of people are running around all the time and they're not really relaxing. They're working long hours and they're really pushing themselves beyond what their body really would like. Your environment is important. Do you have a beautiful living environment to nurture yourself? Or is your house very untidy, a lot of noise, you live in an environment that you don't really enjoy and nurtures your soul? That's going to make you feel very uncomfortable and not enjoy life. Other ways that people don't nurture themselves, they punish themselves. And what I mean by that is that if people have low self-worth, they'll tend to punish themselves because they don't see themselves as valuable. And they can punish themselves in various ways. They could be in abusive, violent relationships. They could take addictive things like smoking, which is damaging your body. You could be working long hours, as I said. So a lot of addictive behaviour, as I talked about in a previous video in this series, can actually be punishing behaviour which is not nurturing yourself. Because if you're nurturing yourself, you're really taking care of yourself, you're looking after yourself, yes, supporting yourself. So the other ways we deprive or neglect ourselves as a lack of nurturing is from the bigger picture perspective of nurturing our dreams. Are you really nurturing your dreams? Are you treating your dreams, your purpose on the planet? Are you treating that like a baby? If your dreams were a baby, are you really nurturing them? Giving them time. Like if you nurture a baby, you give it time, you give it love. Are you giving time and love to your dreams? Focusing on them every day. Feeding them like you do a baby. Feeding is an important way of nurturing. Quite often mothers like to nurture people through food. And that's why mums love cooking big meals, because food is nurturing your body and making you feel great inside and giving your body energy. Exercise is an important part of nurturing because exercise is important for your body and for your vitality. So doing regular exercise is a form of nurturing yourself. So there's some examples in the way people do deprive themselves. And the question is, why do people deprive themselves? Yeah? What is the issue here? And there's a couple of things here that I'd like to mention. Firstly is, if you don't value things, then you don't tend to look after them. Yeah? And I feel one of the main reasons people don't nurture themselves is they don't really give themselves a lot of self-worth. There's a lack of self-love there, and that come from traumatic behaviour when they had a child, when they felt unacknowledged, and therefore they don't feel themselves as having a lot of self-worth, and therefore they don't value themselves and don't look after themselves. Yeah? That's probably one of the main reasons. They don't value themselves. Secondly, people live in their heads. Yeah? People live a lot here. We live in a head-based world, and they're in their heads and not in their heart. Yeah? I'm going to give you a joke about the head. Yeah? Because in the consensus reality, it's about people in their heads. And if your body was like a company, an organisation, well, the top of the organisation we tend to call the head. Oh, he's the head of the organisation. Yeah? Right, why aren't they called the heart of the organisation? So maybe if you are running a company, you could say, I'm the heart of the organisation, not the head. But anyway, the top of the organisation tends to be the head. Now, the people at the bottom of the organisation, the hierarchy, which tends to happen in companies, they tend to be the leg pushers, the ones that move around all the time with their legs, doing all the leg work. So then the question is, well, who's middle management? Middle management's in the middle of the body. So they're probably all the pricks and the arseholes. But it's important to get into your heart and out of your head. And I know a lot of my coaching with people is getting them out of here into here. So what are the effects of not nurturing yourself? Well, you're going to have low vitality because you're pushing your body a lot. And if you do it to the extreme, you're going to get ill, and your body will stop you by putting you in bed and say, now try and move. Yeah? And with a real extreme case, that is chronic fatigue, you've pushed yourself so much that your body needs 6 months of you doing nothing so that it can actually regain its energy. So having low vitality, quite often you get lethargic because you feel so tired and worn out, you don't really want to do things. And then you become very cranky and not a very pleasant person to be around because you're angry and annoyed at life. You don't feel you're doing the things that you really like doing, which is nurturing yourself. So they're the impacts. And as I said, if you're not nurturing your dreams, then you're not going to create them. Yeah? And a lot of people aren't nurturing their dreams. They're too busy in their life, focusing on things they don't really like doing. Like most people work long hours in jobs they don't like to buy things they don't really need. Crazy, yeah? Crazy. Rather than really nurturing their dreams and really nurturing their soul and their bodies so they're living a life of significance and beauty and feeling great about their life, right? Rather than feeling like a chicken running around with no head, yeah, all the time. So I can relate to this in my life, and so then I got into very self-punishment behaviour as well. Like I had addictions of smoking and binge drinking when I was a teenager, and even playing sport to really avoid looking at myself and not looking at my dreams. And I got into the job mentality and worked as an accountant for a couple of years, working long hours, and just did not like it. 2 years was long enough for me, and then I just got out. And 1996, the turning point of my life, and I went on a healing journey to look at myself and to start to really connect to myself and nurture my dreams. And getting out of jobs and start working for myself, I started really having time for myself. Sometimes when people work for themselves, they actually work longer hours and they don't nurture themselves because they feel they have to keep pushing themselves all the time. Sometimes people brag about working 16 hours a day. They go, what? How many animals work 16 hours a day? They relax, you know what I mean? They nurture themselves when the sun is out in the middle of the day. So, by actually reconnecting to myself, I learned it's really important to nurture myself and get into an exercise routine and eat healthy and not eat so much crappy food, fast foods. I've gone off alcohol, and it's just really changed the energy and having a lot greater vitality in my life. And I've also done this with a lot of clients. A lot of clients who come to me, I help them really connect to who they are, get them out of their heads into their hearts, so they can really feel and love and value themselves, so they too look at nurturing themselves. Yeah? So that's some examples. So, how can you do it? It is possible for you to nurture yourself as well. Now that you understand what nurturing is, how can you do it? So this is my tip for you today. Create a ritual list for nurturing yourself. A few weeks ago we did this with a playlist, to access your playing energy, to have a list of all the playful activities. So now what I'd like you to do is get a blank piece of paper after this video and write down all the ways that you would like to nurture yourself. Yeah? And then what you do is during the week you actually create time for them. And that could include things like getting a massage, or going for a walk, or going beauty, or just putting cream on your body. Sometimes it can just be very simple things like really putting cream on your body. Yeah? Relaxing. One activity I'd like you to put on your nurture list is self-time. So I'd like you to, for each day, to at least have 15 minutes where you just do something for yourself. Nobody else. For yourself. Something that you have got a deep passion to do, something you really like to do. And that could be reading a book, could be gardening, could be going for a walk, could be watching a TV show, it could be playing computer, whatever it is, something that you really enjoy and passionate about, and you know you're just doing it for yourself. This is a way about changing your behaviour, changing your habits, and it can start off 15 minutes a day. And once a week, do something really big for yourself. Like it could be even going shopping or get a massage. Once a week is a really powerful way for you to nurture yourself. Because as I said, nurturing yourself is a very important aspect of self-love. So, as I said, this is the 7th video in the series. I'm actually doing this particular video from Lima, which is the capital of Peru. The previous videos have been done in California, where I have had some conferences, and also in Colombia. So you can say this is a really well-produced video series. I'm actually from Australia, if you didn't tell by the accent. I've got my little kangaroo here, I bring around with him. Kangaroo, can go anywhere, yeah? Kangaroo. So that's a way of me nurturing my roots, yeah? I bring a little kangaroo with me. So there's 2 more videos in the series on self-love. Next week's going to be a very powerful one. I'm going to talk about the myths of self-love and some of the common questions people have about self-love. That's what we're going to do next week in video 8. Video 9, the last one in the series, is going to be on bringing all the aspects I've talked about self-love together so that you can see the big picture, and we'll revisit some things I've talked about in previous videos. So you can really appreciate self-love and make self-love an important aspect of your life. After we finish this series on self-love, I'm going to continue doing video series, and the next series is going to be on the law of attraction, because the law of attraction is a very important law to understand, and actually, it is actually related to self-love as well. What I've found as a coach is not many people understand the law of attraction and not understand how to actually live it in their daily life to make it applicable. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've got some benefits out of it. I look forward to hearing about how you're going to nurture yourself in the following week. You might even nurture yourself after this video by just relaxing for a couple of minutes and allowing yourself to enjoy it. Because quite often people don't nurture themselves because they're too busy and they're actually avoiding looking at themselves. Nurturing yourself is actually nurturing your soul, your body, your mind, everything. Thanks for spending time with me today, and I really look forward to talking next week about the myths of self-love and some common questions that people ask. And if you've got any questions that you'd like to be addressed about self-love, put them down below. And remember, if you really like this video, share it with your friends. Let them be nurtured as well. Have a great week, and we can look forward to next week. Next week is going to be from the Amazon, from the jungle. So we'll see what jungle energy brings through this video to you. Great. See you next time.